there, my name's Allie Dirksen. I'm a student counselor with the Keewatin-Patricia District School Board, and today we're going to be talking about sleep. Sleep plays a huge role in our physical and our mental health. A good sleep schedule can help us with growth and development, appetite, metabolism, memory, mood, anxiety, hormones, healing, and for just kind of staying healthy in general. And there's lots of things that interfere with sleep. Stress, conflict, TV and video games, caffeine, medications, mental health challenges, drugs, alcohol. Those are just a few. Right now is a really weird time. And right now, it's hard to maintain good sleep hygiene. We're all experiencing a really big disruption in our lives. Social distancing, schools being closed, working from home, all of these things are changes to what used to be normal routine and can kind of get in the way of getting a really good night's sleep. We don't have our usual anchors during the day, like getting up for school or having lunch at a certain time, coming home, going to hockey practice or soccer practice. We're also spending a lot more time inside, so we're not getting as much natural light, which, as we know, helps our body to stay in its natural rhythm.
On average, teens between the ages of 13 to 18 need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night, but this is a large range and it really fluctuates depending on the person. It's also important to note that naturally, humans are programmed to match our sleeping patterns with the sun. Biologically speaking, our bodies were meant to sleep during the night and be awake during the day. This isn't an exact science, and it certainly has changed since the days before electricity, but our natural circadian rhythm, what we call our internal clock, is wired to follow this pattern to result in optimal health and functioning.
There's research to suggest that sleeping too much can actually have similar side effects to sleeping too little, and it can really interfere with your physical and mental health. Right now, it's super easy to slip into some unhealthy sleep habits, but you have to remember that it might be a little bit harder to break those habits when school starts up again back in the fall or when things finally get back to normal. Here are some tips to ensure that you maintain really good sleep hygiene during this pandemic.
Start by looking at your sleep environment. Do you have a comfortable mattress? Do you have fresh bedding? So that includes your pillow covers, your sheets, and your comforter. Is it too hot or cold? Use a fan or open a window, or pile up on the blankets. Try to make the room as dark as you can. Clothing is also important. Make sure you're comfortable with what you're wearing and try to avoid things like tight clothing or clothes that have big buttons or zippers that can be uncomfortable.
Try some relaxation techniques. 90 minutes before you want to go to bed, start trying to relax your body and your mind. So some suggestions might be to have a hot bath, read, listen to music that's going to keep you calm, try yoga or some light stretching, or a progressive muscle relaxation script or a breathing technique. So you actually have to try it. So for more than 30 seconds, you can't do a couple of breaths and then give up. Give it at least 5 to 10 minutes to start working. Let's talk about snacking. Eating a really heavy meal late at night is gonna make it hard to go to sleep. So you might wanna skip on the pasta, the hot sauce, donuts, ice cream, and the same goes for meals that are really big. Try to keep it light. Think more along the lines of light cheese and crackers, or some turkey, or bananas, or milk. These are all foods that are proven to help get a good night's sleep. Bedtime routine. So having a regular bedtime routine sends your body signals that it's time to get ready for sleep. Doing the exact same thing every time you get ready for bed helps in getting a good night's sleep, and everyone's routine is different. So one example is my routine is I go brush my teeth, wash my face, read for about 20 or 30 minutes, let my dog out for the night, and then I try to have my lights out at the same time every night, which is hard, I'll admit, but I try my best. Other suggestions might be to listen to calming music or reading on the couch, not in your bed, until you start feeling sleepy.
Just like your bedtime routine is important, so is your waking up routine. Try to wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends, I know. But this gives your body a chance to get into a regular sleep rhythm. While you're up during the day, try to incorporate some regular anchors that you'd have during normal times. Showering and getting dressed, eating meals at the same time, and blocking off time to do things like working out, spending time outdoors, and doing schoolwork can all help increase the feeling of routine and normalcy in our lives.
A good rule of thumb is to sleep when you're tired, but don't try to force yourself to go to bed at a certain time every night. Even though we talked about how important it is to have a regular bedtime and a waking up time, if you try to force yourself to become sleepy, odds are you're going to be lying awake in bed, frustrated that you can't get to sleep. I do want to talk about naps though, because it's not necessarily the healthiest thing to give in to those urges to sleep during the day. If you're able to, avoid taking any naps throughout the day. These can really interfere with your sleep at night and make it harder to get to bed. Try to make sure that your bed is a place for sleep. You want to avoid things like watching TV, watching YouTube videos, being on Facebook, reading, doing schoolwork, or other kind of awake activities in your bed. These things all interfere with sleep in some way. You want your body and your mind to form the connection that bed equals sleep. Even though it's tempting to lie in bed on your phone or your tablet before you go to sleep, it's really best if you avoid that temptation. Studies have shown that screen time results in your body producing less melatonin, which is the hormone that helps us to sleep. If you find yourself lying awake in bed for more than 20 or 30 minutes without being able to fall asleep, get up. Go somewhere else and do something boring. Try reading something dull or another relaxation technique, or have a warm drink without caffeine. Only try going back to bed when you're starting to feel sleepy. Something that interferes with sleep a lot and keeps a lot of people up at night is worrying. Worrying about school, about friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, your family, the pandemic that's going on. It really doesn't seem like there's an end to what we can lie awake at night worrying about right now. But worrying interferes with sleep in a big way. And to mitigate the amount of time you spend worrying in bed, a suggestion is to try to set some worry time earlier in the day. So this can be a specific time every day for you to sit down and worry about everything under the sun. When the worry time is up, those worries are put back into their little box in your brain until the next day. If you find that you wake up in the middle of the night with worries, maybe try keeping a journal beside your bed so that when you wake up, you can write down those worries because they're still important, but you're able to tell yourself that you'll worry about them tomorrow. Now, during sleep time, is not the time to start worrying about it. If you're someone who worries about the amount of sleep you're getting, try turning your clock or your phone the other way so you can't see the time. It won't do any good to get frustrated and start counting down the hours you have to be awake, or until you can get a full 8 hours of sleep. I'm sure everyone's heard this one before, but avoid caffeine, alcohol, and smoking for at least 4 hours before you try to get to bed. And you gotta remember, there's caffeine in things like energy drinks, tea, pop, and chocolate. So you really wanna be mindful of what you're putting into your body leading up to bed. Also try getting physical for 30 minutes 3 times a week, because this has been shown to result in more restful sleep. Bonus points if you're exercising outside. However, you shouldn't exercise in the hours before you're going to sleep. So exercising less than 2 hours before bed can actually get in the way of achieving a restful sleep. So that's kind of a lot. And my suggestions to you are to start small, try to be consistent, and chart your progress. So we talked about a lot of different ways to achieve good sleep hygiene, but I suggest maybe picking a couple of things to try if you're finding that you might not have the healthiest sleeping patterns right now. Be consistent in that you keep trying those things for a few days in a row until maybe they start to work. And chart your progress. So if you're someone like me who really likes ticking things off of a list, make a bedtime checklist and try doing a couple of things every day, and then maybe reward yourself for it at the end of the week.
None of this is meant to act as medical advice, but rather suggestions and tips to help you get a better sleep at night. If you're seriously concerned about your sleep, talk to a doctor to rule out excessive sleepiness, mental health needs that may be interfering with sleep, or physical health problems.
Stay tuned to the end of the video to find some links and apps to things that we went over today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.